Fight!
Thank you for watching The Sportsman. I'm Keith. This is Corey. This is Danny. We're going to get going with a little sad Saints news. They took a beating in the division. 26-7 loss to the Panthers. Jameis Winston had his worst career passer rating. He threw 2 picks. The offense set a new record low for yardage in the Sean Payton era. Corey, you're the fan. Give us your 2 cents.
All right. This is unexcusable. At the end of the day, why are you so happy?
How's it feel?
It does. But this is unacceptable. I put this all on Winston. I put it on nobody else. The defense was slackish. I'm gonna give. I don't expect Darnold to be throwing like he did at all. I know McCaffrey got most of those yards, but at the end of the day, our defense shut down Green Bay, which is supposed to have some of the most best offensive prospects in all of football as a collective unit, and you're telling me you couldn't stop one guy. So as the defense, I don't like how you went from being one of the best defenses last week to one of the bottom this week. Jameis Winston is the Jameis Winston I expected to come into the league, and it is what it is. Jameis Winston makes poor decisions. Almost to, if you didn't check out our Jets-Patriots video, make sure to check that out where we talked about Zach Wilson. Jameis Winston was trying to force plays, and no, you do not have Mike Evans, who is huge and can go up and get it just because you go and throw throw a prayer. And he did that in this game, and no, I'm sorry, Callaway is not big enough to do those type of things.
No, or skilled enough.
You got sacked 4 times because
He's unproven too.
You are making bad decisions and the pocket was collapsing and stuff like that. Taysom Hill, in the few drives that he was in, looked better. And this is what I was saying from the beginning, that Taysom Hill will run a better offense. There's just more, like, to what you said, the deep ball threat is now with Jameis Winston. I think that Taysom Hill would be better for winning games for the Saints, but I think Jameis Winston is supposed to be the upside of the Saints because Taysom Hill is 31. And he's never been any. I don't think I'm going to win a championship with Taysom Hill. I don't think I'm going to win a championship with Jameis Winston. But Taysom Hill will win more games than Jameis Winston, in my opinion.
Okay, so I'm just going to go piggyback on what you were talking about a little bit before I talk about my point. Yeah, Jameis Winston was bad, and Taysom Hill looked good because he came in for a few plays, like you said. He wouldn't have looked good if he came in at halftime. I mean, he might have looked good if he came in at halftime because they didn't have a week to prep for Taysom Hill. They've been prepping for Jameis Winston. Obviously, you know that he's a factor. You're going to have a game plan in case that happens. But if he is the primary quarterback, the game script is different. The game plan changes defensively for the other team. No, I think you guys are equally fucked. Neither one of them are the concrete option because neither one of them on a week-to-week basis can give you the same output. Granted, teams are different, but now I want to give credit when credit's due. The Panthers are 2-0, and Sam Darnold has been looking pretty good doing it. He has been more active with his legs, so props to the ex-Jet himself, Sam Darnold. Got to give respect where respect's due, but not for nothing. The Panthers' defense is underrated. They're playing really good so far. I know it's only 2 games. I don't want to get too far ahead of myself, but they've been playing really good. And when you have McCaffrey, everything comes easier. With all that being said, the Saints have Kamara. Have a similar type of weapon. And I feel like he's not being utilized correctly. I feel like Jameis Winston, after Jameis Winston makes that first mistake, Jameis Winston unravels. And that's my issue with the Saints. Sean Payton is a good enough coach to where he needs to reel his emotions back and put him in check and say, dude, it's one play. Games are made. You play this game till the end. Dude, tons of games this week were a point or one possession difference. The Saints, I feel like Jameis Winston was just too rattled that whole entire game. The Panthers got to him and forced him into bad decisions. And you know what, Corey? You brought up the Packer game, how he looked great. It was a great game. I gave him credit. I said Jameis looked great. He looked awesome. But the Packers were uncharacteristically not the Packers. So like I now I don't know what to make of it.
So the whole thing about Jameis Winston against the Packers, though, is that I didn't even think that Jameis Winston was that impressive against the Packers.
15 for 20 with 5 touchdowns and the low yardage.
For 140 yards. Congratulations. You had Kamara get you down the whole field and you scored a 2-yard touchdown. I'm not going to be impressed with that. I'm not as a Saints fan. I want you to at least, if you're going to put up 5 touchdowns, I want a minimum of 250 yards behind it. You should not have those kind of pad line stats. What are you, Russell Westbrook? Like, come on. You don't get these padded stats to get these cheap touchdowns because Kamara gets you down the field. And then you have Kamara who rushed for 8 attempts for 5 yards, and he was your 4th leading rusher. Jameis Winston had 3 rushes for more yards. Like, that's terrible. Yeah. Develop the run game. And pay attention to our Tennessee Titan video because we're going to talk about that in the Seahawks. You have to run the ball. I don't care if you're behind.
You have Kamara.
You have Kamara.
Yeah. Well, that's what's funny, Corey, is because you brought up in the beginning that falls all on Jameis Winston. Like, a very large percentage of it definitely does. I think a very large percentage of it falls on Sean Payton. Nobody looked at, like we talked about how the Packers looked uncharacteristically poor in week 1. Yes, no one's expecting Jameis Winston or Taysom Hill, whoever's leading the reins, to look like Drew Brees. But this was an uncharacteristic Saints game. I'm
just mad because he gave me hope.
I would have the eyes open, looking forward.
No.
Yeah, seriously.
God, I don't need a trio of bunch quarterbacks.
No, seriously. A trio of not starters anymore.
Well, Cam Newton's in between both, literally. In between both of what you have. He's like in between Taysom Hill as far as athleticism, and he's like he makes alright decisions.
He makes better decisions, Jameis.
Yeah, I think he makes better decisions than Jameis. I think Jameis has a bit more arm talent.
Yeah,
Jameis is a better thrower. Out of the 3, Jameis is the best thrower.
Damn, that's something, huh? Can you imagine that?
Yeah. Well, I think Jameis has good arm talent. I think Jameis can throw the shit.
He needs better LASIK surgery.
He just can't actually make a decision.
He's a processor. He's not processing it differently. He needs to process it differently. He can't. He hasn't been able to do it.
No.
You know what it is? It's like when you spend your whole childhood leaning over a barbecue that's a barrel that's been cut in half. That smoke it fucks with you in more ways than you think.
I knew he was going back to his grandma's barbecue.
As he rolls up in his $100,000 pickup.
But to give Danny, because we always use this as the Sportsman, we have to give credit to the winning team. We can't just be biased about our own teams.
Yeah.
Carolina, you came to play. I fucking still hate you. That will always be a thing, no matter how good or bad you are.
You're Saints, man. I get it.
It's the fan base. Sam Darnold, I am happy for you as a player that you are getting a resurgence in Carolina. I think you needed this tremendously.
Hell yeah.
And I'm happy because I think that Sam Darnold is a good quarterback, and I felt bad for him that he was almost going to be a Tannehill type quarterback where he was going to die with Gase. And that was going to be the end of his career.
Don't you wish he was on the Saints?
Yes. I said it from the beginning. I was okay trading for a 23-year-old young quarterback and develop him under Sean Payton. I would be very excited about that.
I'd be fucking lighting it
I'd
up
be
right now.
Pipe dream.
Totally be killing
Pipe dream, exactly. We're talking about what ifs, but still. It's just, it is what it is right now. It's so we go against the Patriots next week, which is going to be a tough game.
Because it's Bill Belichick.
It's Bill Belichick.
It's not an ideal bounce back game.
And that defense.
Yeah.
That's
where Jameis Winston, if you start making mistakes again, I'm done with you. I've been done with you. I didn't want you, and I'm done already. Like,
he's going to make mistakes. He's playing in a Bill Belichick defense, and he's good at getting to what you don't do well.
If he does worse than Mac Jones, I'm going to cry.
Mac Jones, again, plays a very safe game.
Well, I know what you're saying,
terrible.
though. Like, yardage statistic-wise, he shouldn't do worse than Mac Jones because Mac Jones plays a safe.
Actually, yes, because they had like the same yards. They're like passing both for like 150 yards.
Yeah, Jameis
both games.
He should have the ability to throw up a lot of yards.
He should.
In that Sean Payton offense. However, Sean Payton does it because first of all, Sean Payton should be playing to the strengths of Jameis Winston. But again, if there are guys not open down the field, Jameis can't force those balls.
No.
So.
And they do. He had that one deep ball in Green Bay in week 1 to, who was that?
Not Callaway.
No, it was,
No, it wasn't Callaway.
I think it was Harris.
Harris. It
Yeah,
was Harris.
It was Harris. And so, like, they've had these plays, but that's the whole thing. The reason why those plays didn't work in Carolina because he just threw up a prayer, like I was saying.
Yeah.
I hate that. I hate that type of football.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No,
You need to be good enough to be able to come back from mistakes. That's
yeah.
the difference.
Yeah, and you got to know when it's there and when it's not.
All right. I think we're going to cut it there. All right. Thank you for watching, everybody. Feel free to leave some feedback in the comment section. Other than that, like and subscribe. See us every Friday, 8 p.m. Eastern on Twitch at twitch.tv/thesportsmen. Other than that, check the descriptions for all of our other social media links. We'll be on there responding to you guys. Other than that, catch you guys later.
Be good.
Peace.
Enter my intimate energy element. I am an entity walking ahead of the pack. I really am out of my head, and it's evident that I will never be able to ever quit. Melanin